Before we begin our exploration into the visual symbolism, it is my privilege to announce for a special felicitation program for the visual storytelling master, Mr. Santosh Sir. And in order to do the honors, may I please request Mr. Prithul Kumar Sir, Joint Secretary Broadcasting, Ministry of Information and Broadcasting, and Manager Director, NFDC, to deliver his address.
Honorable and distinguished Santosh Sivan Sahab, Namrata Joshi ji, all my friends, participants, delegates, it's indeed a privilege that MIFF is hosting Shri Santosh Sivan Sahab in this campus in the 18th edition of MIFF. And to bestow honor to him would be a very little thing, but we are aware that he has recently received a very, very prestigious award and made all the Indians proud, that Pierre Agneck's Excellence in Cinematography Award in Cannes Film Festival, which is remarkable for all Indians. The trailer which we just saw about his body of work, and I'm sure that most of us have grown up appreciating each and every picture, each and every scene which we see through his eyes, which he's captured through his lens. As they say that a picture is worth 1,000 words, I think Santosh Sivan Sahab's every picture would be worth 1,000,000 words, if not less, maybe some of them infinity words. So it is so beautifully you have crafted cinema. It's such a privilege, all of us, to be here present in this evening, to listen to you, your thoughts. And it is such a privilege that such an inspiring leader will be present with us today, and we will be able to delve into how and what are the things behind his personality which has made him into such an incredible cinematographer and such an incredible, eminent filmmaker. Thank you so much.
May I now please request Mr. Santosh Sir to come on stage, and we shall felicitate this legend himself. And with that, may I also now invite our moderator, Ms. Namrata Joshi ma'am, a national award-winning film critic. She will engage with Mr. Santosh Sir for this in-conversation session. Over to you, ma'am. Before we let ma'am do her job, I would also like to felicitate her for being here, so thank you so much. Indeed, honor and privilege, Santosh, to be doing this session with you. After
seeing you win the Pierre Agnew Award in Cannes, a crowning glory for your career, which anyhow is like filled with gems and awards of all sorts. So really thankful for this.
Thank you so much.
And before I start, there's something about Santosh that I'd like to share. There's a very disarming simplicity about the legend that he is. And before we started talking about this session, he said, what will I talk about this visuals translating into the narrative? So I said, nothing. It's just that, you've kind of achieved so much in your career, and it's going to be all about going back and into the present and into the future to see what goes into making the craftsman that you are. And I'm told that he's already conducted a couple of master classes outside before this session. So I'm going to keep it very straight and simple. And since we are looking at this great achievement of yours, I think I'll begin with a very linear narrative. We'll begin with the beginning. Do you remember your first memory of engaging with an image and your first memory of the instrument, which is the camera which has shaped your life?
Actually, when I was very young, maybe about 8, 9 years old, I used to stay in, I was visiting my grandparents in my ancestral home, and there was a strange picture on the wall, black and white, little faded, but the eyes were looking at you. And whenever the door opened and closed, light would fall on it, it would look like it's alive. So it was scary, okay. And everywhere I went, it was looking at me. So I was very curious about this. And our houses, we have all these Nadumittam, which is the courtyard with the sunlight coming in and going. So every time the light changed, this thing would have a different feel altogether. And one day when it was raining with lightning and thunderstorms, this really came alive. Especially because I knew that person was dead and no more. So I think that was my first interaction with light and how it behaves and how it can scare the daylights. Because even at night when you close your eyes also, you can still imagine the picture. So that left a very early on, I think I did observe those kind of things.
So this must be quite a scary thing for a young person that you were at that time.
Yeah, it was scary, but it was also interesting because those houses which we stayed in the dark rooms only all the eatables would be there, and banana plants, planted in the sun. So there's no fridge, that time. But when we entered that, you would see all these beautiful shafts of light coming from holes. It will pick up the dust and their shafts. So you find a very interesting energy to it, actually. You want to play with those light shades. So I've done all that. And later on when I went to UK, I realized that there is no shaft of light, there is no sun only. And the architecture is all glass, Gothic kind of a place. So I think that time it occurred to me that now, that time of course was much later, I realized that how much architecture was dictated by the weather and the light. And so we have been following the sun, for quite a long time. I also used to play hockey. I played juniors, national and all that. So it was my job to stand on the terrace and call up my friends if it would rain or not. So I'm standing on top of the thing and I'm seeing the clouds form, dark clouds, and the green would stand out. Suddenly there'd be a flash rain, then the sunlight will come and glimmer on the plants. So you realize one thing early on, that everything magical is very fleeting, and also only when there's a transition is it when it is most beautiful. So later when I shot the first commercial for God's Own Country, Kerala, I tried to shoot everything in that kind of a light, actually. Yeah.
Mm-hmm. So this fascination, when did it and how did it become a formal engagement, so to speak, that you decided that cinematography is the way to go forward for you?
Actually, that was not, the thing was that I wanted a job where I don't have to sit 9 to 5. Very simple. And I also wanted to travel, which was very important, because I felt that when you travel is when you learn everything firsthand. You love firsthand experience. So, and that's when you think that what you learned is not what you learned in school or in a college or like a formal thing. You know, you want to learn something. You want to see that place and see. If someone says something nice about a place, I want to see it and not read about it. You know, like that. Yeah.
This can, you were a leader of a pack, so to speak, you know, the FTII pack that I talk of, you know. You were there, Payal was there, Chidananda was there, Maisam was there, you know. How did FTII shape you, you know, and your, your formative years in terms of cinematography?
FTII was a great place because when you are there, you realize that you are not the only crazy one, you know. You know, there's a lot of people like-minded, and but for me, always it has been a give and take. I always wanted to take pictures, show it to the people who to see their views. Unlike my wildlife cinematographer friend Alphonse, who does the wildlife, but you can't show the tiger and get an opinion about it, you know. So I think this feedback is very important for me. And also from a very young age I started making my own money, from the age of 16 or something, by shooting pictures and giving it to magazines, getting it publicized, shooting some wedding or something on Super 8 cameras. So I was aware of everything. Even when I was studying in the Film Institute, I saw that they're giving me a camera, film free, and then you're supposed to do some shooting. So I would take it to the park. Kamala Nehru Park is next door. So I would take pictures there, and then next day I would sell these prints to these people and make a lot of money. And travel.
Secrets are coming out, huh?
And travel to different places, which I later on used. Like I went to Madhya Pradesh, I went to so many places. I would get on a train and just go. And then in fact later on I shot Ashoka and all in those locations. I went there again. So I think travel has been amazing actually. Yeah.
In terms of, you know, the medium, I assume that when you were getting trained at FTII, it was all analog, you know,
Yeah.
and now you have digital coming in. And there are many people who are very passionate about film and not as, greatly inclined towards digital. How do you respond to the two mediums?
I think both the medium are different. See, when I was young, I used to sketch. So my grandmother used to say, Santosh, your sketches are original, so we should save them and keep them safe. When my father taught me photography, because he was a very famous still photographer, he used to tell us the original is a negative. Then later on, when the digital came, then the original became a copy, you know. So things are constantly changing. We have no ways of trying to change that. So technology will always change. Film, digital is like a very scientific, advanced kind of a thing. But film was miraculous chemistry, and the grains were very alive, you know. It makes the image alive, I feel. Even though now you can artificially give grades to it. In fact, I don't advise people to follow it without testing. But now when I shoot on video, I push it to 3200 ASA, and so that I can get a little noise which is there somewhere. Like you can't catch it, but I do it even now for the latest film I'm doing. Also, I'm doing like that.
So as a professional, you feel that one should keep adapting to the tech?
Because your sensibilities will remain the same. That is why you won't be replaced quickly, because your sensibilities, what you have imbibed from your culture and all the craft and knowledge from there is what makes you actually, you know. So if you actually stick to that, then your film, what you shoot will resonate within. If you're going to be inspired by what you see on YouTube and Instagram, then you will be following the rest of the group, which is the same thing. So you'll be only imitating, you won't be creating. So if you have to create, you have to follow your roots. Because you have to grow like a tree, down and up. both ways you have to grow. Yeah.
You mentioned about the landscape, the weather, the fleeting light, the fleeting images. I want to kind of go back to it a bit, because for a lay person, I think when we think of the visuality, the elements we think of are places, spaces, and people, and what light does to them. So as a cinematographer, if I were to look at your body of work, how do you harness the landscape to bring out the meaning of a film, or the story that it's telling? Because I just saw your first film today, the story of Tiblu, and the way that you're playing around with landscape even there, is quite remarkable. So I want to know a bit more about that process.
See, I was doing a film on farmers, documentary. So he said something very interesting to me. He said, what is 1 plus 1? So I said 2. He said, that's where you're wrong. Because for a farmer, it can never be 1 plus 1, has to be multiples. If I throw a handful of rice, it should be hundreds. If I throw 2 mango seed, then it will become hundreds. If 2 people get married, then there will be 3 people. So it is not the same as 2 plus 2 is always need not be 1 plus 1 need not be 2 all the time. So for a creative person, it should not be that answer. So you put yourself in there. So I used to think about that a lot actually. So I felt that if I am going to just shoot this landscape, then it merely becomes I'm recording it. It's only 1 plus 1. So what is this third dimension I can bring it? What am I to this place? Supposing you seeing sunset or sunrise and I feel harmonious with it, I should also see myself watching this, So you have to find an answer for yourself, how you can make this and make this your image and not just recording it. So you try your best to interpret it your way, which I think most of the time resonates with the people. They realize that you have done something special to it. It is not a recording of this. So we don't want it to be a recording. So you always motivate yourself to create. That the best way to do it is that before you start doing something, you tell that you are dedicating this work to your mother who's no more, or father or someone. Then you will try to be very, very honest about your work, not just take anything that you have seen and do it again. You will try to create something. And also, if you take from something you have seen and put it again, then it's like stealing flowers and putting it in front of God. You have to grow this thing and then put it in front of God. So I think that effort has to be there, I feel.
Then there is the landscape of faces, the contours of a face, the character in the face. What's your approach to human faces? Because again, I was suddenly thinking about it, the way you've kind of looked at all the faces in Story of Tiblu, because it's something that is immediately there in the head. But your approach to the human faces?
I actually was very fascinated with the human face. In fact, I was doing a film called Felicitation. It's a film that I got a national award for actually, for photography. So that time the director told me, the writer, who was a very famous writer, MT was then, he told me, Santosh, this is a chamber film. So there is no landscape and all this. So I told him, but Sir Chetta, there is a landscape is there in every face. We can try and capture that. Then he said, okay, let's see how you do it. So it is a period film, so the lamps are moving all the time. So when the lamp, for someone with the lamp moves from here to there, it changes everything, the face keeps changing according to motion. So we shot all that. And in fact later on, the writer Kamalavas wrote a review of it, telling it, praising it very much, and the film did very well actually. Then M.D. Jairan told me, you are right about that. You can treat it like a landscape. So I think everything is a landscape actually. The face, the human face, you have shot so many pretty people, but they will always be very comfortable with me because they won't say, I've shot most of these people in Roja, Madhu, in Karina, in Ashoka, Manisha, and they'll say all are shot without makeup, you know. But they will do it if you think that the camera is the best friend. So you should treat it like that, you know what I mean? You should make sure that there's someone behind the camera who will take care of you.
But you know, the actors and stars also have, I mean, and I'm not kind of being dismissive or negative or pejorative about it. There is a sense of vanity, you know, a self, how does one say, not self-love, but so much as self-awareness. How do you manage to break that? Because, you know, and access that core that you're talking about.
No, it's not so bad, because I think you have to be convincing. And then you have to show them with some stills how they look so that they feel good. I've shot in Ashoka Karina with underarm hair. So it's not like no one, I don't think anyone will, but at the period film you have to. So it is not, that is not important, I feel. I feel that they will always go with you by a simple thing, that if you say, like someone like Madhubala, I was told by the director, of course, and by me, that it's a very real kind of film, so you can't stand there with a lot of makeup and enact a sad scene. They won't believe it. So it has to be simplified.
You know, not just the stars, I also find that, you know, this is a trend which is happening now about, you know, using non-commercial actors, using, you know, actors, you know, who kind of facing the camera for the first time. But you have been constantly, you know, kind of using non-professional performers. You're also being very comfortable with kids, you know. I mean, I remember watching Halo, and what a delightful film it was. How you use someone like Rajkumar Santoshi, you know, his character there as the father. What makes you go towards, you know, these uncharacteristic performers, so to speak?
But I worked with Rajkumar Santoshi, so I know he was a great actor. I like Maniratnam acting, but he refused to act.
Tell us more about that. Yeah.
I actually met Kamal Hassan, I told him that you act in Nayagan just like Maniratnam. He was very upset with me. Actually, but a lot of people will act like him because he'll tell the scenes like that. So sometimes they tend to pick up those elements of expressions. And I tell Mani also that. So it's.
But a bit more about kids. How do you make them come so comfortable?
You go their way. You don't. You have to go their way. See.
So they are in control rather than the director.
No, like Story of the Blue, their eyes are so close you can't see their eyes. Okay. So I tell them, you look left. So she's saying, I am looking left, but we can't see it, you know. So I am wondering, what did they teach me in film school about left look and right look and all rubbish, because you are now suddenly shooting someone whose eyes you can see, you know. So I think sometimes you have to unlearn so many things, actually.
Coming to the element of light, you know, light and sun, you know, you just spoke about how in the UK there is none. Is the Indian light special in any way? Is it harsher than the lights when you travel abroad and shoot films abroad?
Yeah, it is, you should appreciate each. See, light also, just like actors, has different rasas, you know. So if you get up early in the morning, which I do at 5 o'clock, everything appears monochromish. Then slowly when this little light comes, flowers start picking up colors little bit. When the sunlight comes, it starts to have contrast. So you pick which one you want for that particular scene, or which one you want for a particular film. Rains has a timeless quality. You can do a period film with that. You don't know if it's afternoon, morning, or evening, you know, that kind. So I was very fascinated when I saw films of Bergman. And so I wanted to learn about Svante Kvist, cinematographer. So I went to Sweden. How did you do all this? So when I went there, I saw that the sun is always like this. So it will go shining right into the house. So it was very easy for them to shoot. And it stays for hours and hours. So it was very easy. It is not like that for us. But I've realized, because I spent almost 6 months there, in springtime they appreciated the sun going up so much. And here we have the sun going up all the time and no one shoots at it, you know. Here they're celebrating the sun going, they're taking children to the cradle and saying, look at the sun and all that. So I thought when I come back I'm going to shoot a song in top light and celebrate it. And I did that in a film called Fizza with Shushmita Sen. That song is mostly shot in Rajasthan top light. So Shush used to ask me, Santosh, you're shooting it in top light because no one shoots in top light. But then finally the song became very viral and people appreciated it. They even forgot about the fact that it's shot in top light. But if you I like shooting action. I like shooting song. If you don't like action, then how will you shoot action? You have to like whatever you want to do. So I think that is the approach that you should be there. Actually, after Film Institute was a very difficult period, because I suddenly, after going to Film Institute and all that, especially those days, you come back and think you're a genius. And you don't need even a specs to maybe make yourself feel that you're a genius. So I could not hear about someone going and assisting someone. It was like, how can I assist you? How can a genius go and assist you? So I said, I will not assist. So it began, so they said that if you don't assist, you will never meet anyone and nothing will happen. So I said, forget it. I'll find my own way. I was very confident because I knew I could make money with still photography because I have actually learned still photography from Kodak, color processing, black and white processing. I could make big prints and all. So I knew that I won't go hungry or anything, though my passion was to shoot. So I used to go and shoot Super 8 for, Christian missionaries and Vivekananda Kendra. So they would send me to some distant school where they feed children and get money from Tata and all that. So I used to shoot them. Kids eating food and all that. Very interesting it was. So they thought that I had a liking towards traveling so much. So they offered me a job. They told me, would you like to teach photography to children in Arunachal Pradesh? That time I thought Arunachal Pradesh was next to Andhra Pradesh or something. I said, okay. I am this guy from backwaters going to a snow-clad mountain, so cold, 8 days of travel, crossing rivers. I crossed one river called Digari or something. It's so Brahmaputra, so they told me it's called Digari because it's called Mad River. Sometimes it will flow like that, sometimes it will flow like that. So that's why no food, very dangerous. And I reached this place where people are dressed in all this bear skins and all looking very, very ferocious. And I go to a school, and the school is like a, 2-acre place, fully fenced, only tribal boys with swords. And in front of the school there is this strange looking Gandhi statue. Strange because they have built it like them. Big calf muscles, shoulder. He is all set for a fight. And to make things worse, the stick is upraised as if he is going to hit us one. So I told Gandhi was not violent, he was a non-violent man. Non-violence has not crossed their mind. They can't even understand it actually. Because they deal with tigers and all this, Then they said, no, Gandhiji should chase the British society. That is their idea of British that they do when they see a tiger and all, they try to do that. So their thinking was like that. So it is interesting, but I learned most of photography from them, actually. Because everything I did was magic, so they called me black magician because I was making prints and they were pinkish and all that. So the dog died and some people eat dog. But this one was the pet dog, so they said they're going to give it a burial. So they took it deep into the forest and they dug a very big hole under a tall tree. So it's 6 feet and still they're digging, it's getting dark, tigers and bears are around. So I'm wondering what are they doing, and then they finally, when they saw the root after 8 feet, they buried the dog, and then they looked into the sky and said, now the dog will become a flower. So the elders told me later that everything with mystery should have this should have a blend of darkness and light. So it is related, like day and night. So if darkness and light is not there, there is no mystery and there is no life. So
There's no image either then, you know.
so what I thought is, so whenever I do some lighting, I will try to see if this blend is there, if this mystery is there. So I get inspired by all these things. So I do my own way, but I want to, so when you do like that, if you have so much of piano keys, you're playing all the keys. You're not just being safe with the center ones. You want to play with all the keys. And that definitely resonates with the audience.
Mm-hmm.
And later on, after we were coming back, these people suddenly, it has become night, they surround me with swords. They put it out. And they're whispering something. So I knew something was really. So I asked one of them, what happened? What is the problem? Tigers, 2 tiger prints, they're saying. So there's some pugmug which I don't know anything. And there are tall grass, you can't see anything. So maybe 2 tigers were standing and looking at me and saying, South Indian dinner is on or something like that, I'm thinking. So I told them, what will you do if you see a tiger? Then they said, we will run and climb a tall tree very fast. So now we can't run like that. I can't even climb the coconut tree, let alone climb this tall tree very fast and run like that. So I told him, come on, I don't know how to run like that. I'm not running like you have done, running and climbing. Then he looked very confident at me and said, no problem, sir. You see tiger, you will learn everything very fast. So there's nothing to worry about. So that is also, every time you think this, most cinematographers have the problem of having to do some humongous lighting, and you wonder how are you going to do it, okay? It's always a confusion. But then if you trust yourself, you will definitely find a way to do it actually.
You know, that apart, your experiences and, you know, your interest in ethnography, in places and people, reminded me of something that Bertrand Tavernier once told me about how good filmmakers are the ones who learn from life rather than watching films. Is that something that you also believe in, that, you know, you draw a lot from your own experiences?
Yeah, actually, most of the films I made are films that I've experienced. When I did this teaching is when I wrote the story of Tableau. And then I went and made that film. I convinced Film Solution to give me 2 lakh rupees so that I would go and make this film and showed them stills and all that. And then I made that film in English language, which took me 6 months to censor because no one knew what they're talking. So censoring was a big headache. It was the most difficult time because they had not shot films before, so I had a lot of tough time. But I think it is good to have these kind of narrow margins, and that thrill that is when you actually start creating more interestingly. Because nowadays, you know, I'm shooting films. I have everything. I have 4 or 5 cameras lying around. I have so many things. Whatever I want is there, which is not very interesting actually. Yeah.
Coming to the nitty-gritty of it, you know, I mean, from my standpoint, somebody who's not making films but outside and watches it, cinematographer seems to be the one entity which is kind of, you know, who's kind of coordinating with multiple set of peoples. You know, you have the filmmaker's vision, you have the stars to deal with, you know, you have the, if there are action sequences, then you have the stunt cord, you know, to be looked into. Your relationship with the director is of prime importance. Tell me a bit about it, you know. How much do you intervene and how much do you just let the director's vision take precedence?
I think with different directors it's different experience. Now, someone like Maniratnam, who I worked 6 films, we understand each other quite well. You will say something, I also told very drastic things to him.
Mm-hmm. Tell us more about that.
Like we were shooting this day, and he saw a music video of mine and he wanted to shoot a song there. Jia Jale, that song was shot in the same place I had done, same in Kerala only. So because I had said all that, he made that character a Malayali girl. And so they cast Simran. They shot 2 days. And then my face was like, so he said, what's wrong with you? So I said, he doesn't look, they look like brother and sister. And I showed a still. Then immediately he changed and to Preeti Sanda. He changed. So then you get very scary. You know. I was with MF Hussain, and he wrote some poetry or something, some 2 or 3 pages of it. But 2 people have to stand on the road and say. So I told him, Baba, how can you have such dialogues in the middle of the road, in Prague, in Hindi, Urdu, something? You don't like it? I said, it's not good, it's very poetic and 3 or 4 pages. Okay, then he tore out and threw it up in the sky and said, no dialogues in this. So you have to be very difficult. So you have lots of people who are problematic. And
I saw Mr. Shaji Karun, cinematographer, director, Vanaprastham. Can tell us about working with someone who's a cinematographer, himself.
He's basically a visual person, so when he talks, it's very difficult to grasp what he's talking. You might have noticed actually. He's very slow and very, he's a visual person, but it's very interesting to work with him. In fact, I just told him, when I was in Cannes, a lot of people asked me, like Bobby Beatty and all that, oh, where is Shaji and why is he not doing films and all, they asked me. So I said, I also asked him the same thing. Yeah. In fact, very recently also I asked him why he's not making films. I think we miss his kind of sensibility, which should be more and more actually.
Art house cinema, commercial cinema, working in various languages, working in international films as well. Are there any divides or are there no differences when it comes to cinematography?
No, it's very different.
Okay, tell us more about
Malayalam film, you have to be a little paced up, because of budget, of course. But there is a work and worship system in South. North, it is not so much there. In Bombay, you can always blame the traffic for something not starting. So you can't blame anyone. Okay, but it is not so. Nowadays, it's getting better. But it is not so. Hollywood, they are very sharp about. If they say 9 day, 8 day is a pack up at 6 o'clock, it will be like that. So they really do a lot of post work. And then they have all these lineups and all that, which is very interesting. That means the actors will come, and before they put makeup, they'll do the scene, you can do the correction, and by the time, and all the HODs will be watching everything, and when they go for makeup, you can take your focus marks and everything, and with stand-ins, light up everything, and when they come, it just happens like that, without any. So the sound guy knows where they're going to go. All of them are equipped for that. So when I shot Before the Rains in English, I had very easygoing Malayalam actors and very professional English actors. Almost we are trying to do everything in 20 days. So we shot the film in 20 days. But because we worked with all these different kind of people, you understood them. For example, the actors, Hollywood actors, one is Linus Roche, who did all the Viking and all that. He was one of the actors. So he is not used to, I'm operating camera also. He is not used to operative camera telling him what to do. He found it very difficult, that you're only telling me and you're operating also. Why don't you get an operator? He's asking. So for him, he's set with. Whereas the other people are okay, because the Malayalam actors are very organic, and they are some of the finest actors like Tilakan and all those people are very organic and very good. They don't need a rehearsal also. But so everyone has their own different kind of thing actually.
But is there any setup that you find yourself more comfortable in?
I like shooting in Kerala because I always wanted to shoot Kerala. I like the waterways, I like the way it is, I can understand it much more, and I still feel that I have not explored enough of India, let alone why go abroad now. I still feel there's so much more to discover that I sometimes think one lifetime is not enough to finish off.
You've shot with Harvey Keitel, right?
Yeah.
And you've shot with Amir, Shah Rukh, Mohanlal. Tell us a bit more about how the stars interact with you. And any favorites that you have
Yeah, I have a favorite is Mohanlal, who is a friend of mine also, very long time. Shah Rukh is also a very dear friend.
And you're shooting his film as well, right?
Which one?
Mohanlal's.
Yeah, Mohanlal's film I shot already. It's finished. Still VFX is going on. Harvey Keitel, all totally mad people, very difficult. I know, not very easy to. Whereas Gabriel Byrne is very professional. This case is very eccentric, actually.
One thing I've always thought about, the Indian cinematographers is that they do something which perhaps doesn't happen so often abroad, which is song and dance, choreography.
Yeah.
Where, moving bodies, songs and, moving camera. How do you approach these sequences? And tell us a bit more about the iconic Chhaya Chhaya.
Chhaya Chhaya was, actually we shot everywhere where we made Mohanlal dance on a train. One shot.
Okay.
So that idea was in our heads for some time. Then me and Mani used to sit and wonder why should we do this? Because for everything, why is very important. When and how it can be solved out. And then, and we used to, Mani and me used to always spend a lot of time before the shoot. Like when Roja was happening, three of us, including everyone, he would compose something. We would be on some beach and then decide how to shoot this. So I go for recording also sometimes. So here we used to see which train journey is most interesting. So we have sat on trains and gone to Himalayas, lots of places. Then finally we decided that we have to create a nostalgia in people. So for that we definitely have to go through tunnels. So then we zeroed in, we know why we are doing it. So we decided we will do it in where we did actually. Then shooting was very easy because once you are on the train you have to shoot, no? It's moving, you have to. So we only took about 2.5 days to shoot it. And even if you are not dancing, when the train moves, they'll do something. But SRK was he was full energy. He was the only one who didn't have a harness and all that. All the others had. Yeah, but it was difficult to shoot also because, and Shahrukh would say, Sandra, I can see the camera shaking. So they are not sure, no. But the fact is, camera can't shake because I lock the camera. I don't keep it loose. If I keep it loose, it'll shake. But if I lock it, it'll become like a rig. Like you do a rig shot in a car. So they will see it shaking, but we're okay. So we shot it like that actually.
But do you enjoy shooting, song sequences?
Yeah, I love it.
Okay. Any other favorites? I mean, I just took the example of.
No, I like shooting songs. I love doing fights also. Shaji made me do Kathakali full program with Mohanlal acting, and he did fantastic, And Mohanlal acting in Kathakali is very difficult because you don't even know to do. If you put on all this for 4-5 hours, it's not an easy thing to. So you also want to hurry it up and finish it off for him because you will somebody make some extra emotions in his eyes and all that. If he has to communicate, they have to go, things like that. Yeah. Much more than our stuff. Some 14, 15 vessels are coming now. So, and we have good fun also. And of course, he is a perfectionist, so he used to always have his own take on everything because he had a problem because all the people watching him are professionals in the field, the top people. Yeah. In fact, I have a clip of that also somewhere here. Yeah. It was shown in Cannes and everyone was watching this Kathakali thing actually. So I think, so we have different kind of, should we see something, you think,
The clips?
Some clip you can show, I will get bored to death.
I think we'll need to move down. So let's just finish this, then maybe show the clip and then come to the audience for their questions.
Again, okay.
Yeah? Move to direction for you. I mean, was that always at the back of your mind or
yeah, actually, my first film I shot was I directed. Then I got a lot of awards for a IDP award and best film, best director and all that. I came here, Govind Nihani ji is the one who picked me up. And then a lot of people asked me, what is your next documentary film going to be? So I said, what I told him, I want to be a cinematographer. I don't want to do any film and all that. But all the films I've done have some connection to my childhood experience or something. Here is something that I did when I was shooting Rock. Aditya Bhattacharya's sister lost a dog and she wanted to find out, so I used to help her look for it. So then I turned into a script like that. So most of the film is something that I've learned and done something with, yeah.
You know, people who are...
But directing is a very difficult job because cinematography is very zen, you know. No need to interact with too many people. It is like the other one means like a husband and wife, you know. The director has to go and see the financier, be nice to act extra. I can just smile and say hello and finish. They can't do that. They have to, as a director you have to be very, and they also, so I like to maintain this relationship of as a director you have so many, and the shooting is not over when you say pack up for them. You can go and sleep and listen to music and think about the mistakes or the nice things you did. Whereas the other one has the next day to plan. It's a lot of stressful job, yeah.
So you de-stress with cinematography and get stressed out with direction.
No, but I do both because I don't have to fight with the cinematographer. Otherwise, you always giving ideas means sometimes you miss among telling like that. But it is sometimes it is nice, I think. But most of the actors I work with, if I'm directing, they will be very upset if I don't shoot. So that's also a problem. So especially the women, you know, they will say, why are you not shooting? So when they gave me the lens at the Peary Engineer Award, Preeti Sindha gave me the lens. So she told me I should be the first to be shot with this. So you make a film, otherwise I'll give you a script to do like that. So I think they would like to.
So you got some good lenses from the award.
Yeah, it was actually first when they said this award is coming to you, I was a little scared because all the people who got it are all legends. Most of them are no more, and others are retired. So I thought, what the hell? Why me? And all the people I admire actually. Then they gave me these very expensive lenses. Now my problem is I have to buy a camera to fit these lenses. Yeah. So I'm trying to do that now. Yeah.
You talked about the people you admire. Something more about the cinematographers who've been a major influence on you and your work.
I think most of the people, lots of people actually, I can't name everyone, but definitely N.V.K. Murthy, Ashok Mehta, Subroto Mitra has been a great influence. K.K. Mahajanji is a very big influence. Then a lot of people I can't actually, even in Malayalam there are people like Melli Rani, Vincent Master, who I've actually approached because when I was doing Iriver, Vincent Master was someone who actually shot with MGR. So I used to sit with them and ask him about how they lit up and things like that, just to find out more about it. And so I think you have learned from all the cinematographers' work you have seen. Shaji Atal is someone who has done some fantastic work with Arvind Charan and his own films. So you learn from everyone, I think. It's not like you learn from one particular person. Also from some cinematographers like Storaro and Sven Nykvist and Nesta Almantros and all these people. Actually, you really have a large variety of different people for very different reasons, actually.
For someone, you know, who's behind the camera, it's said that it's always very difficult to get in front of it.
Yeah.
But you did it very successfully, right? Tell us more about that one film and the role.
Actually, the first time when I went to act and they said action, I closed one eye. Which was like, so the director is a friend actually, and the cinematographer is Madhu Chetan, who is actually a contemporary of Shaji Atal. So he was more interested in telling me how he's lighting up than shooting me. Santosh, don't move 2 inches in front, you'll go out focus. I'm shooting at 1.2 and low light, and don't do this, don't do that. So I had very different instructions from different kind of people actually. Then all these women came and started hugging me, and my light boys started wondering, Santosh sir, did you have any reason for doing this? So they are telling me directly, in Kerala, the light boys are very straightforward. They even then actors, your last film didn't do well, they'll tell like that. We will just smile, and people like Mohanlal say, okay, give me a BD. So that's a relationship. So it's a very nice relationship. So these people telling you why you want to do all this, hugging these people and all that stuff. And I had 6 heroines in the film. So Mohanlal calls me up and says, Santosh, you have 6 heroines and all under 18. Very upset. So I still make fun of him. And it's a difficult double role. It's very difficult. I never learned so much in the film. I had to learn so much dialogues. I've never learned so much like that. I had to speak and all that stuff. And it was also a very serious role. Okay. So everyone thought I'm like that. I'm not like that, but everyone thought I'm like that. In fact, Bhurira Gupta offered me a role to act. He was in the jury, yes, he saw the film. Then he also said, this was a serious role. I said, my God, I do not want to acting. I've stopped acting, finished. I acted in the film because Raja is a very fascinating character. My grandmother used to teach in the palace. So that time she used to bring all these Raja paintings and illustrate the stories. I actually made a film with those paintings in one of my films I did called Anandabadiram. And then a lot of people have been wanting to make films on Raja Verma. And so they would ask me to shoot, including Shah Jahan. In fact, they even asked, when we went to Cannes, Bobby Bailey asked me, does he still have that idea of making that film? So a lot of people have wanted to do that film. So then my father wanted to see me at home, because they'll be shooting in Trivandrum. So he said, you have to do it. So that way I said, okay, I'll do it. And it is okay. It's nice to do it, but it's also not a nice feeling to be judged, I feel, by so many people watching and all. It's a very difficult.
But you know, judged, even a director is judged, even a cinematographer is judged.
Cinematography, no one knows what's happening until they see the film. Actually, you can say do anything and you can get away with so many things, you know. We do quite a bit of that, you know. If the actors are, see, when I was shooting something, when my assistants became cinematographers, some actors would be very bad to them. So they would tell my assistants when I am shooting that this guy was very bad, do something. So I used to do long day, now I don't do. So I have a mirror kept here. So you flash them into their eyes, it is very bad. So these people will flash them. So I asked, why are you doing that? Then only I realized that this is all because of the thing. So that all happens sometimes actually.
You know, you mentioned Mohanlal, and you've kind of, his directorial is what you've handled. How was that? How was that, you know, for you to...
See, it's always very difficult to do a film where the director and the actor is the same. Saying that, I'm again going to do another film where Ritesh Deshmukh is playing Shivaji and directing. I'm going to start now. Marathi film. But they're friends. Mohanlal is also a friend actually. But, and it is interesting, but for me it was a challenge, the film, because it's a 3D film.
It's a 3D film. Okay.
Yeah, so 3D film is, and they're shooting original 3D. Now the 3D problem is, it's a humongous camera. 2 cameras in one. And so normal things like a jib can't handle it. It just shakes, you know. And then it needs a lot of light. You have to shoot it minimum f8, f11. And you there put some candles there, you can hardly see after you. If you don't have enough light and depth of field, then you miss the experience. You can't shoot full open and do all that. You have to light. So it is a very difficult way to do, especially if your camera is moving all over, and because it's 3D, invariably the camera will come in front of here and they'll touch the lens and the 3D effect will come. By the time this big monster camera comes there, all the shadows of the lights are on their face. You know, so it's not easy. So I took it like a challenge. So I would not tell them we can't do this. I would always be nice to. I will always try to, because he has a very different way of seeing it. He doesn't see too many films, so he's not inspired by anything, and he doesn't want to know anything is complicated or not. That way is the same as Manirathnam. He is also not interested in your headaches. He'll shoot like this. If it's a headache, you solve it. Idiot is such a film that I did. It's very, because camera is moving all the time, and you have to find nice frames all the time. You have to have frames which are very, because I was doing it like a tribute to Subhuta Mitra, so I have to have that kind of frames in the film. So everyone has their own problems when you shoot. Yeah.
Priyadarshan is another person that you worked quite a lot with, you know, and a completely different sensibility towards cinema. How does that work, you know, with so many sensibilities kind of competing with your, for your camera?
No, actually no, because the films I've done with Priyan are not that kind of humor films. I've done Kalapani, which I got a national award for. And recently I did one film called Olon Tirun, which is a web series on Z5. I also directed one episode of that. That is shot in black and white in a very stylized way. So the advantage with Priyan is that he's very sure of his edit. So there's no extra take and no unnecessary takes going on. So we finished the film in 9 days. It's almost a feature film length. Yeah.
You're shooting Rajkumar Santoshi's next as well. What's it? I mean, what's it about? What's it called? And
it's actually based on a play in 1947. It's about a Muslim family going from India to Pakistan and finding that the house they allotted has a lady, Hindu lady, Shabana playing that, staying there, and how they bond. That is the film.
Okay. And Rajkumar Santoshi is another person with whom you've had a long-standing relationship. How is it like to work with him?
When he has food, no, you order everything.
Okay.
So he has to see all the food on the table. Likewise, when he shoots, he wants all kinds of shots, so that he will decide on the edit room what he wants. So he likes to have to see his table full. Yeah.
From all of your,
but he's very good with actors, and he acts very well. Yeah.
From all of your own films, is there something which was much more challenging than the rest, which you kind of enjoyed working on?
Enjoy it, I don't know, because whenever you reflect, you think you could have done that better and all that. But one very difficult film I did was a film called Navarasa, which was done with a hidden camera, because it was about third gender in Kuvagam. And it is not even shot on film, actually I shot it on video. Then I took Alphonse's camera 16:1. After editing it, I shot it off the screen and I showed it as a film. And everyone thought it was a fantastic, different feel because I had shot it. So everyone thought it was very good, but it was the weirdest way to shoot a film actually. To shoot it on video and shoot it off the screen, you know, which I did actually. And but the subject could absorb all that because it was that kind of a film. It was a very real kind of a film. So it didn't matter. Sometimes all these mistakes is like grains in a film, no? They accept it like that. Yeah.
And your next film, the one that's going to come up, Zuni.
Zuni.
Tell us a bit about how.
Zuni is a film. I made a teaser actually here.
Okay. Should we show it?
Yeah, please. You can.
We'll talk about it after.
Yeah. We can sit in. We can screen off. There's spears that are coming, so be careful. which is going to be a long time. So, but he has to do just because she's a poet. She's a poet, and we have already cast Vijay Sethupathi and Navasuddin, and we are looking for a lead also. I think it's a very interesting project. I thought I shot this with completely with Canon lenses and Canon C500 cameras, which is very, which I was, a lot of people were very shocked that I shot with that actually. So the Japanese people saw this.
Okay.
The CEO of Canon saw this. Okay. So he couldn't believe it was a C500. So during the Mumbai festival, they have this trade thing, no? He invited me over and gifted me a camera. So I said, thank you.
So must have collected a lot of cameras, in life, is it, Santosh?
Yeah, I think so. I think some people are nice. But these lenses I love because they're called Sumeri lenses. In Japanese it means flower. But now I have engineer lenses, so I have to know, it was a big tussle which direction to go actually. Yeah.
And you're calling it a A.R. Rahman musical,
Yeah.
music being a very...
Yeah, he's a musician. But more importantly, this is just a teaser. I only shot the childhood portion. And this teaser will help me find the money. Basics, you know. So by putting A.R. Rahman's name and some...
So a cinematographer and a director...
But you'll be very shocked. This film, this trailer Prabhas saw and he wants to now know what is his role in the film. Yeah. Now I can't suddenly make Habba into a man, so or transgender, so it's not.
So the girl in this sequence, she plays the okay, and she's a trained actor.
She is actually from Kashmir.
Okay.
She's a Kashmiri Pandit. So I call her a refugee because she lives in Bangalore.
Oh, I see.
But her father is very interested in the subject also.
So you found her first, or you found the story first?
See, what happened is, someone wanted to make a short film on Habba. So I did a lot of research. So that time I cast her and she also did a lot of research. The short film, instead of making that, because it's not safe, I made another film in South. So, but the story developed like that. And a lot of people were involved. And I have a lot of friends in Kashmir. I made a film before. So, and also, so I like the whole place. It's a beautiful place. I like shooting, and I also, it's very cold there, -14. It's not easy to shoot. By the time you are up the mountain and ready, the child refuses to come up. So things, they're not easy to shoot.
But your script is ready, everything is ready to roll, or will it?
Script is never ready, no, that's the problem.
You're giving away a lot many secrets.
No, script is organic, but we have a basic idea. The big action film always storyboard before, so that we don't waste much money. But the story always can get tweaks, because it's a, like you say, instead of two of us sitting and telling how good friends we are, if I simply take a glass of water you're having and I have it, then we know that there is a friendship. So like that I try to make it more visual and less dialogues. So that takes time. So we don't know.
So the visual treatment would be somewhat like what we have, exactly like what we have seen in the teaser.
Yeah, somewhat so. Yeah. You like it? Yeah.
I think I'll need to throw throw this thing out for the
Please, yeah.
viewers to, the attendees to ask questions, because I've been strictly warned by Gauri that 6:30 we have to wrap up. So any of you, any questions to ask, please introduce yourself when you ask the questions. Yeah.
Good evening, sir. My name is Jayant. I come from Bangalore. I'm a writer, filmmaker, and a FUV pilot. My question to you is, I'd like to touch base upon Ms. Joshi's previous question, director-cinematographer relationship. What will happen when a young generation perspective, writing, directing comes together with the vast cinematic experience and the beautiful leadership such as yours come together in Indian cinema?
I actually always try to shoot with first filmmakers, a lot of them. And I like the fact that they bring a fresh energy to the whole thing, maybe a fresh perspective. I never try to impose my style on anyone. I try to see what they want and try to learn something from them than imposing a style on them or telling them how to do. So it is always good to, and also when they tell a script, we know where it is coming from, whether it is his own experiences, then it is more interesting. So then I do like that. Yeah.
Thank you, sir. Great to know.
One question here, then we are going to show some more clips, I think.
Yeah.
Santosh, it's I mean what I saw now, the cinematography of your Zuni. You showed Zuni there.
Yes. Yeah.
That was wonderful, and the works you have been doing are exceptionally good. Santosh, the film actors in Bollywood or wherever, all around the world, just know two things. Indian actors. If you need money, you go contact Maniratnam, and if you need satisfaction of work, go to Santosh Sivan. Something like that, he'll shoot you nicely. Now, suppose if I was a fresh actor from anywhere coming to you, and I have some romantic scene, and I take retakes over retakes. I mean, your line is so. I mean, it's so boring as well as so painstaking. What would you give me, retakes over retakes, if I want to enjoy my scene with a girl? And the third thing, last four thing. Do I gauge that your eyes would be closed, or do I say that your eyes are open? Because you're a cinematographer, you look through the lens to capture me or anyone. Did you get me?
No, I'm most confused actually. I've never been so confused. And if you were directing a film and you would talk to me like this, I'm finished. I've closed both my eyes.
Sir, I'm sorry, sir. Do we sit over a bottle and
Yes, better.
Could we show some clips before we ask others to put their questions?
जब हम पैदा होते हैं तो मुट्ठी ऐसी होती है, तब हमारी लकीरें बनती हैं, ये और ये सारी की सारी सबकी अलग अलग होती हैं, और फिर जब हमारी लकीरें मिलती हैं वो है हमारी तकदीर। देखा? और जीते जी हम चीजें बटोरते हैं, वो सारी चीजें जो हम चाहते हैं अपना बनाकर कस के पकड़ लेते हैं, और जब दुनिया छोड़ देते हैं तो सब खत्म, हाथ खुले, कुछ नहीं रहता।
Actually, this before the rains, my father used to take me to Wayanad because they were making something, taking some pictures of tribals. So I used to ask Dad, who made these roads? So he said, the English people. So I said, where are they now? So they left. That's how this film, I wanted to make that. Because I thought it was very interesting because the road is totally in contrast to the forest. It also cuts the monkeys' traffic, everything. So same way these foreigners came and it was a complete culture clash with our people. So I liked the metaphor that dealt with it. So I had this Russian lady come here and write the story. So I used to take her everywhere and she wrote it. She's a professor. And then we did the film like that. In 20 days we shot the film actually. So that is Linus Ross. He was in that film called Viking and all that stuff. Very interesting actor. There's Jennifer L also. She's also a big actress.
Any more questions? There's some behind as well. If the mic could go later that side. Yeah.
Hello, hi sir. This is Semantic. I am an aspiring cinematographer and director. So I just want to know, sir, what would be your take given an option for your upcoming film? Would you prefer to shoot it digital or analog? And for the upcoming cinematographers, what would you suggest? Should they also try analog to understand the medium of the reels, or digital is good enough for now?
So your competition, huh? So no, the idea is that, see, I always believe, if you point the finger at the moon, look at the moon, don't look at the finger, okay? So cameras will come, go, different makes will come. It's the same as, but film is film. We can't ever say digital has replaced it fully, because grains are a kind of makes it very alive, the whole system. The other one is very scientifically correct. So I think now, unfortunately, when I was in Cannes, actually, the Kodak people came and told me that if you do a film, we will give you the stock, and but the processing is still very weak here. You know, we don't really have a. We had Nola coming and giving a big Kodak lecture here. I attended the lecture, but the fact is that the film stock is. We don't know how old it is. There might be base fog. So we can't trust anything. We are at the mercy of. It's like with us base fog and all. It's like eating a 3-day-old omelette, which is very bad. No, they can say it because that everything is fresh there. So we can't take that risk. But still, I believe that there is films being processed in Bombay. Some people do it on 16, and there are, if someone is interested, there are people who will really provide you with stock and all that. But the problem is that suddenly you have the drone shot in between, so it's digital again, and so we have a lot of limitations. In fact, I tried to do one in UK. And there is a very nice place where they do, because the French people shoot a lot on film even now, especially commercials. So they have a small processing machine which can do small amounts of film, but we don't have that kind of facility here. Sorry.
I'm just taking on from there. It suddenly struck me that, with technology taking the leap it is, it's a two-way thing which is happening. One, a democratization is happening, so anyone can do anything, which is opening up. But in another way, the craft and the art is also perhaps getting to lower down in many way. How do you respond to it? Because now, now with Instagram and with the cameras, mobile cameras, everyone is a photographer, right? Everyone is an actor, everyone is a writer, everyone is a film critic. How do you see that?
Actually, I like the fact that people learn visual language so quickly. Before, we used to learn to sketch and paint, okay? That requires more observations. Here, a child learns how to take pictures before learning how to read and write. But basically, people are even now, but just like learning how to read and write doesn't make everyone a poet or a journalist or a novelist. By people taking on phones doesn't make them a cinematographer either. So if they really continue with the basics, maybe they can aspire to be something. But otherwise you will just be, just like you now only use your language to message, like that, this will be just that kind of a profession.
Shorthand kind of thing, yeah. There were some questions that side. Yeah.
Very good evening, sir. I'm Mrigank Verma. I'm a film editor, and I would like to ask that how do you see the role of editing involves in your cinematographic choices during the shoots, and how's your relation with the editor?
I normally edit with Srikhar Prasad, who started his career with my career. Rock was his first film, which he got a national award also. We are very supportive. If I am doing a film where he is editing, I will make sure that there are shots, extra shots that I feel he can use. I shoot sometimes, and he knows when I shoot it. But I think I like most editors who don't cut out my nice shots. Selfish that way, no? So I used to have fights with Maniratnam. I said, if you had waited 1 more second, that light would have come. But you cut it, So, but I think the choices they make, I think, are very relevant because they see it without the difficulty, without the waiting. Now it's become very easy. Now if you want a moon in the frame, you can always VFX it. But we all used to wait for the moon to come, We never used to put VFX of a moon. But now it's very easy, so the waiting game is not there anymore. So I love the waiting game. The waiting of shooting on film and waiting for the rushes to come was a big high, which is no longer there. Because suddenly if you've done something extra, like in they'll say or anything, then they would be very shocked, oh, we didn't see this, like that, which is a nice thing to happen, especially if you've done something. Otherwise, all there, you're seeing it on the monitor. So I think, but the editor and the cinematographer has a very good relationship, though I would say the relationship of a cinematographer and the costume designer and the production designer is much more than editing comes afterwards. We keep that in mind, but yeah.
Thank you so much, sir.
Yeah, here.
Thanks to NFBC, we got to see Story of Tiblu this morning. I was longing to see that film. That reflected back so much. I mean, the number of mirror shots which you have done, which has come through for you, kind of your early days, your attraction for mirror, and the way you showed the blood on the tree, you know, when the bird got hit. Cut to Navrasa, the way you showed the blood on the skin. You know, so much of those similarities. You've carried a lot of memories from your childhood and the way you handle child actors, you know. Nothing has changed.
Yeah, I've been older though. Anyway, that was 35 years back. Actually, I saw a film recently. Actually, it was a very interesting documentary I shot for a lady called Chitra Niyogi. So she had come to shoot something, and this nice man sitting here, Shavi Karan, actually recommended my name, and I got to shoot it. I was just out of the institute or something. And we shot it on a Bolex or some small camera. But this lady took so long that that film got over only some 2 or 3 years back. Yeah, it's very, she sent me the film. She's a professor, okay, very close to when I was all and all that. Chitra Niyogi, her name is. Then I was shocked because whatever I've shot later on is reflected in that. So sometimes you wonder, so a lot of things which I thought was very nice and all that, I've done all that in this documentary, which is very interesting. So many visuals that are, and that was a very interesting film because they were talking about all the cultures of Kerala. So I had a first-hand travel journey through all those cultures, which was very informative for me also. Like that, you know. Sometimes you feel that, okay, I've done this before, okay, and it's a surprise to you, actually. So this also must be a surprise, actually.
The Tiblu girl today must be kind of 45, mother of 2 children.
Yeah.
Would you consider showing the film to her, going back to her nature?
Actually, when I after the film was over, I actually took the film to show them. So it's on top of a hill, and it's a battery-operated projector. They put up a screen like that, and they kept wanting to see it again and again. And then I thought I made such a great film. Then I realized it's not that. Every time the wind blew, their faces changed, so they want to see that. They thought there was some great VFX happening. So every time the face is becoming cartoonish, so they want to keep seeing it different times, you know. So it is not a great film that way, okay.
Going by the character of Tiblu, I think she would be doing something far more radical in her life, the way she was, than following the conventions.
Actually, she was very good, and I think what I did was, I actually got 2 people from there and educated them here in Chennai.
I see.
Then I thought I was doing very good and all that. So I asked him, what will you do? He said, we'll cut all the trees and make buildings. So now it's changed the place.
For your insights, it was lovely listening to you. As an independent filmmaker, I just want to understand, would it be easy to approach you if we want you to be a cinematographer on our film, like the younger generation? And what do you look into a project or a script if you take it up?
When the students offer me some film, first thing I ask is, how much money you have? Unfortunately, all the experimental films don't have money, okay? And I have a very simple way of looking at things. I shoot big films. I charge a hell of a lot of money. And I blow up all the money in small films and lose it. So I don't want to be going to a producer and saying, please take part in my experiment and lose your money. So I'd rather spend my own money. So that is why I do big films. And I make sure I charge well. Yeah.
One question there. Yeah.
But I'll do your film.
Good evening, Namrata ma'am. Good evening, Santosh sir. I'm Keshav Binoy Kiran. I'm an actor. And I have a very selfish question. Before that, I'm born in 2000, so in 2005, Ananda Badram, I saw it in the theater, and that was the first time it was like a new cinema to me, because from the mainstream Malayalam movies, I'm from Kerala myself, and I was very scared. It was a very scary film. But yes, to the question, as a cinematographer, as a director, is there anything that you would want to tell the actors not to do, or just something that annoys you, and which it could help me?
I think don't come late for shoots. I think then you're in good books, you know. See, all these actors, most of them come late. SRK comes late, of course, but he makes everyone feel very sad for him. That actually, I realize that he is doing a rehearsal for himself. He will come and tell you the most pathetic story that happened to him. That is why he is late. Santa, I was there and my son was doing this program in school. I went there and I saw him do, and he didn't get first prize. I cried, I also cried. So you end up feeling sorry for him. In fact, he did a tribute for me for awards. If you see that, he said, and Sandra, please wear a coat and go for the award, like that. So he's that kind of a person. So I think different actors have different radiance, but most actors have that radiance. Most of these actors have. And that is when you realize that why they are actors, you know. So I think you should be really pleasant. Either be very nice, pleasant, or be very badly behaved and shout at everyone, you know, something like that. And it's just too extreme. See, I feel there are different kind of actors, you know. One actor is like, say, Amir Khan, who wants everything perfect. If he is doing a role, he wants to, when he goes to open a door, he wants to know whether I'll use a right hand. I will use a right hand, but my character will use a left. It can be for a 1 hour discussion, okay. And now, then you have people like Kamal Hassan, who has done everything in acting except do a film without his head. The rest all he has done, you know. And then you have people like Mohanlal, who's like a goalkeeper. If you hit the ball, that's it, I'll dive, that's it. So it's very real, natural. Then you have someone like Shah Rukh Khan, who will act little bit overact also, so that the kids will like him. Okay. Then you have the other actor like Salman Khan, who will be walking away from a bomb exploding and he won't look behind. So all these things work for them, you know. No one is wrong or right. So it is their way how they look at it. And if the character suits that, then it's fine. Yeah.
Thank you so much, sir, and congratulations once again.
Yeah.
We'll take one more question before kind of moving out and you holding another masterclass outside.
I actually did one just before coming in, where one guy insisted that all your master classes don't have anything to do with lenses and light and equipment, and so he complained to me actually, and he has seen all my master classes, and I was like shocked. So I'm sorry, I'm disappointed again. Which is why I made sure that I talked about the Canon lens and Sumere and all that stuff, just to please that guy Safi somewhere. Okay.
One more question.
There's going to be a competition, there are two of them.
Sorry, let another person get a chance. You know, you'll again confuse us. You know, let's get confused outside. Let the lady ask a question, please. No, there's one lady, she needs to have a chance. Yeah.
Santosh sir, good evening. So my name is Aditya Deepika and I'm a documentary filmmaker. I made only one documentary so far. And so I just wanted to share this is that when I was a teenager, I watched Ashoka and I loved it. I didn't know filmmaking by that time. And later Ravan was the mesmerizing experience for me. Now I would like to request you, maybe someday after 1 or 2 years, whenever I would like to do my debut film, I would like to just request you to, I will be coming with you, to you with a script, and would you consider it?
You're getting.
I think must be the award I got, I think. Huh? But that's after that I've been getting a lot of offers from abroad also. I think this is yeah, of course, yeah, please, we'll figure it out.
Thank you, sir.
Thank you so much, Santosh, for kind of taking us through your journey.
Yeah.